on the way is, as I'm sure you are aware, as a pet owner, bonfire night. Now, I say bonfire night, it's more like fireworks season, isn't it? This thing never seems to be just the one night, and we know that more and more pets are troubled by the extraordinarily loud and getting louder fireworks that trouble the night skies at that time of year. So what help is at hand? Our regular vet, Lucy Dobry from Ryder-Davies, back on the show with us. Hi, Lucy.
Hiya, how you doing?
Very well, thank you for joining us. Hey, what a morning. Are dogs coming in and shaking all over you?
Yeah, it's a lot of wet dog smells here this morning. It's not a glamorous dog.
Wet dog smell, yeah, that is the worst. Obviously, the more serious note is fireworks night. Lot of animals absolutely bothered by it, Lucy.
Yeah, absolutely. We see, unfortunately, obviously, around sort of firework night and New Year, and sometimes now just random nights, it seems, we do see a lot of anxiety in dogs and cats, as well as actually rabbits and guinea pigs as well. It's just obviously the sudden noises. They're not big fans of them.
I don't know whether it's me and my age. They just seem to be getting louder and louder as the years go by. Yeah,
I agree. They do seem to be, and they make me jump. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can imagine with. I mean, we have pretty average hearing for a species. Dogs particularly have super sensitive hearing.
Yeah,
imagine that
alert.
Noise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. It's can be a bit of a shock for them, which is why hopefully we can get them prepped, or your listeners prepped a little bit better, just in case they have got some anxious pets.
Well, that is the key to our conversation with you this morning, Lucy. So what advice would you bring to the fireworks night party, as it were?
So I think there's a few different kind of, categories to kind of think about it in, really, or two different halves. One is the most important thing initially is sometimes that anxiety is unavoidable. We can do all the things I'm going to talk about, and it can be unavoidable. So the most important thing is that we're prepared. And probably the most important thing you can do for that is make sure your pet's microchip details are up to date and that your pet is microchipped. So if the worst happens and they do run off, then it's really important that we can trace you and, the pet owner. It's good advice anyway, to be honest, because if you've moved or anything since you've updated your microchip details, then please make sure they're up to date.
We see this predominantly with cats. If they're panicking, if they suddenly find that their world is not safe, they will do whatever it takes, won't they?
Absolutely, yeah, and they can really go quite a long way.
Yeah.
And I think so. It's just really important that because animals can be very disorientated by these loud noises. It's just really important that you make sure that's all up to date. So you can ring the microchip company or your vets, and they'll be able to help you, assist you if you're worried that you've moved or there's any problems there. And then obviously on that same note, just making sure you're in and at home with them. If you can be on that evening, if you know you've got an anxious pet, trying not to leave them alone and making sure that the house is fully secure. So no open windows or anything like that with cats.
Yeah.
Just to try and make it as safe and protect them from getting out and being scared as possible. So if unfortunately anxiety is sometimes unavoidable in animals, so they would be the two things I'd absolutely kind of start with.
Yeah.
If
you do have to go out, Lucy, just to interrupt, if you do have to be out, would you have like the radio on or the telly on or something in the background?
I think it's, absolutely. There's a lot of, you make sure obviously the house is secure and that there's nothing that they can kind of bump into or, or anything that could fall on them if they do get stressed, something like that. But just making sure the radio is really good. I mean, I'm sure this station does a great sort of fireworks show. If not, the other thing that can be
we do a great cat sitting service, put it that way.
Well, perfect. So then we've Classic FM does do a special pet hour. I don't want to plug another radio station on yours. Sorry about that. Yeah. But it does do there are kind of radio shows that are available for animals on fireworks nights now. So something just like that is calming and leaving that on is sensible, definitely. So there is as well some things that we can do to prepare. If you know you've got an anxious pet or you're feeling that they might be anxious, knowing sort of how they are, then potentially there are some things that you can try. So you can get these they're room diffusers. They look a bit like the Glade diffusers, but they kind of emit dog and cat pheromones.
Okay.
Which have been shown to calm them. So that might be something to try. In some cases with really anxious animals, it might not make that much difference, but in a lot of cases we do see it makes it really does help them to calm down. So that's one thing to try. And there are some also calming supplements that you can speak to your vets about that you start a few days before, and it can just really help just mellow them a little bit before we, in the days running up to it, really. And then if they are anxious at the time that you're there, the most important thing is not to kind of overreact too much to it, because they don't understand what's happening and they will read everything off you. So
if you go running to the window going, what's that?
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they're going to pick up on that. Yeah.
Equally, or if you over-comfort them, which I know sounds kind of almost counterintuitive, but if you kind of go, oh, my God, it's okay, if they're barely reacting, then they just take that as, oh, why is my owner stressed? This is maybe something I should be stressed about. So making sure you definitely sort of don't discipline them if they are being anxious, because obviously that then just makes the anxiety worse. So it is a difficult balance to strike. Obviously you want to comfort them a little bit, but don't go overboard, because actually that can cause the adrenaline to go higher because they don't know why you're doing it.
There are millions of dogs and cats in this country. Surely the time has now arrived where something has to be done about this.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. There's now obviously there's some amazing drone firework displays that are great because they're silent. And a lot of people obviously find that as, because there's a lot of humans with noise sensitivities as well, and other conditions that sudden noises can be very distressing. So there is a lot of, I think, campaigning going on for more of these drone displays. I think the problem is they're not, you can't really do that in your garden. Most people, it's fine if you're in London or a big, probably Ipswich or something like that. But if you're just wanting to let off a couple of fireworks, but no, I agree. They are, yes, they're beautiful, but they do come with these.
Well, they are
these
something
problems.
of a visual thing anyway, aren't they? So just make them without the noise. Just make them a visual thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think the drones are hopefully the way forward, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much for the update and the advice. It is a difficult time. The rankling over the legalities of it all certainly will continue. They won't be changed by our conversation, but you never know. We've got to start somewhere, Lucy.
Indeed we have.
It's great advice. Lucy Dobry from Ryder-Davies, the vets, on the subject of the forthcoming fireworks season. Lucy, thank you so much for your time. Keep well.